And we're back. Hey guys, I have another tarot and oracle haul for you guys today. And some of these, once again, were gifted by my awesome brother. This deck, and this deck. And then these two are indie decks that I purchased on my own. And let's just jump right into it. So, our first deck here is Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Barron Reed. I really love the back of this deck. The one thing, so I actually put this one off for a long time because I didn't think I was going to connect with it. Particularly this card, I love how this just popped up, Chop Wood. There's some things about this deck I just don't, I need to bond with it a little bit more and really see how it's going to work with me, because even TikTok, like some of the meanings in the guidebook don't necessarily line up with what I actually think is going to happen, or what I think that they actually should mean, and that might sound a little bit strange. I do like Colette Barron Reed's decks in general, but I don't always love her choice of wording. So the guidebook for this is a little bit chunky. And though I like to study my cards and bond with them, and obviously if you're just starting out with tarot, it's very, very important to learn the meanings and the symbology behind those cards. Oracle, I mean, I guess it depends on the deck. Sometimes the meanings are on the cards, but I like to be able to use my deck and not use the guidebook. And with this one, I'm still working on that with this one, because just a little bit interesting. Okay, the next deck I have is the Chakra Wisdom Tarot. You guys, this one came out of nowhere for me, and I really, really, really fell in love with it. First of all, look at the back of these, okay? This deck, is it perfect? No, it's not a perfect deck, but what I will tell you is it works for me. I love it, and I actually do love the art style. It might not be for everybody. It's not a perfect deck in that there were maybe 2 or 3 cards that I questioned out of this deck, that I was like, okay, I don't know if I love the imaging. And then there were a few where I thought, because I work with chakras even when I do my readings, and so some of the cards that I pulled for even like 10 of Cups, sometimes I would question, okay, like, does that really go with that chakra? But other than that, I really, really love this deck. One of the comparisons I thought about when I was looking through the artwork of this was, there's a deck out there called Tarot de la Nuit. I'm probably saying that wrong, but either way, I don't like that deck because there are too many cards in that deck where the artwork just doesn't make sense to me personally for what the true meaning of tarot is. And so this deck, though it doesn't really remind me of it, I just feel like there's only maybe like 2 cards in this deck that don't really like hit the mark for me. And I don't know. I really, really love this. I used it in a live last week. It performs well. It comes in really nice packaging. Tori Hartman is the author. It's a slide out box, super sturdy. And the guidebook for this is actually really well done. It's in full color, and it goes into deeper meanings of the chakra correspondence for this. So this isn't super popular. I haven't seen this a ton, and it's probably just, maybe an art style preference that doesn't speak to everybody, but I love, love, love this deck. All right, up next we have The deck of Celestials, I did a full walkthrough on my channel of this. If you want to link down, scroll down, I think it's like the last video that I did. I love this deck. It's an indie deck. I got this on Etsy. The creator is Michaela Jensen. And the packaging is nice. The guidebook is just a little, your standard kind of little white book, maybe a tiny bit more, but I really like this deck, and it's different than anything I've ever seen, and I don't have anything like this. I like that it's kind of dark and moody. Obviously, it's a celestial deck. The only drawback, look at first of all, look how awesome the gilding is. And this gilding seems to be holding up pretty well. It's not like chipping or anything so far. The only thing about this is on the majors, the text is a little small to read, but other than that, I really, really like this deck. And I like how it kind of lets my intuition run wild. I don't, as I said in my other video, I don't really like Pippi decks a ton, but I feel like this, I just really love this deck for some reason. And there's no people depicted. There's just kind of like these moon beings, I guess. It's really, really cool. So, highly recommend that one. Alrighty, up next we have the Druid Craft Tarot. You guys, I think this deck came out in 1988. My aunt actually has this deck, and this was one of the first decks that she got. I have seen this deck is probably one of the most popular decks for being modified because it is truly a huge chunker of a deck, and the borders are massive. Originally I was going to completely trim it naked, and I've seen, if you go on YouTube and look for like a trimmed version of this, you'll find a ton of them. Some people keep the borders, some people totally strip it down to the artwork. I was planning on doing that, but when I started working with it, I was like, I actually don't mind it, and I also kind of don't want to ruin it. It is a relatively inexpensive deck. Oh my God, you guys, look at this. I love this. It's also one of the more pagan-y decks that I actually love the artwork for. There's a few other decks out there like the Witch's Tarot and I think the Green Witch Tarot or something like that with like the Christmassy background or backs of the cards, and I just don't really connect with those, but there's something about the Druid Craft that is undeniable. It performs well, it reads well. This is definitely going to be a new favorite for me, and I may not trim it, or maybe I'll work with it a little bit longer and then decide what I want to do, but I have a really hard time, once I've bonded with a deck, I don't really want to mess with it or like get another copy, so we'll see what happens. The packaging for this is huge and awesome, not in a bad way, and the book is also quite large, quite chunky. If this deck speaks to you, again, it's relatively inexpensive, and there's a lot of great information in here. I highly recommend this. It had been on my wish list for a while, and thanks to my brother again for sending this my way, because it's a really great one. I think this is going to become one of my new workhorses. So there's that one. And then last but not least, we have the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle. This is the second edition. I also did another, I did a full walkthrough of this on my channel as well. You guys, I really love it. I really, really love it. If you didn't watch that video, yet. I got the full moon version. There's also a new moon version that has like a black holographic edging. The cardstock feels nice. The creator of this is Grounded by the Moon. His name is Joseph. He is a really nice guy, and he makes some awesome stuff. So make sure you go check out his stuff on Instagram. I think he might have a YouTube channel too, but I think he's going to be selling his extra copies of this, or he's going to get more in stock. So highly recommend. A lot of this is based on themes from the movie Practical Magic, which is my favorite movie, and I love this deck. I used it, I did use it in my last live as well. It reads very clearly, very nicely. It's very straight and to the point, and I love this deck, so I highly recommend it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.